I see you. Yeah, I do. I see you out there. All right. Happy Thursday night, everybody. Overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday in Raiderland. We're talking about AC/DC songs in honor of the anniversary of the passing of Bon Scott. Golly, 1980. We got stuff to do tonight. Texas Tech Lady Raiders, jaw-dropping win over Baylor. What does it mean? What are they trying to tell us with these wins? I think what they're telling us, they're pretty damn good. Texas Tech basketball, yeah, tank it from here. It's over. Call it a year. It was fun. JT Toppin gone. Yeah, just load manage and get ready for next year, right? I mean, that's what they need to do, right? Softball delayed. We thought they would be in action by now. First games ran long, so Fresno State and them got to wait. And like we mentioned, overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday. We rate things in Raiderland on Thursday. You never know when somebody's going to stop you on the street, ask you a question, your opinion about something you don't know. We're here to help. We prepare you. AC/DC songs. In three, in two, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You start your day every day there on the website. We give you kind of our morning musings and our thoughts from the day. We give you the question of the day. We give you the Raiderland Hot Links brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. So many reasons to start your day with us there at theraiderland.com. And everything we do, we archive it there. If you ever miss anything, we got it. We're brought to you tonight here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios by McAlpin Chiropractic. If your back's out of whack, don't call it quack. No, 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 no. Call Kevin Mack. He will not use that as his slogan, but I think it'd be kind of cool. Now, he's worked with high-level Texas Tech athletes for decades. He's a great dude, good West Texan. Check him out. Go to their Facebook page, their website for Kevin McAlpin Chiropractic. If you've overexerted yourself here lately, maybe you need a little help. Kevin McAlpin can do it. Lifts West Hotel and Condominium in Red River, New Mexico. Spring break's coming up. Mardi Gras in the mountains just wrapped up. Hey, they're getting snow over the next few days. They've been making snow all year. The runs are open. Check them out. Call my friend Billy Hurst there at Lifts West, right next to Red River Brewery. Woo, what a combo. In walking distance to the slopes and the ski run. And of course, everybody gets in on the United Supermarket chat line, the supermarket that cares about Texas Tech and West Texas. Yeah, let's get it going tonight. Get in on that United Supermarket chat line. Here's the creator of Dilbert. Simultaneous sip, shall we? That's for you, Scott Adams. Where do we want to start tonight? Lady Raiders with a massive 87-56 victory over Baylor last night. Still moderately controlling their destiny for a Big 12 title, but just rewriting history right now. 24 wins on the year. Biggest win over a ranked team since some old guy named Hyatt was calling games back in the early 2000s. Hadn't swept Baylor since 04. You get the idea. This team is special. This team is different. And Krista Gerlich is up for the Naismith Coach of the Year. I would say where she was picked and where Tech was picked this year in the Big 12 and where they are right now, that's a pretty good candidacy. I know to win those kind of awards, you got to go, got to go win championships and got to do stuff. But my goodness, this team's getting it done. Maupin set the tone early, hitting a bunch of big shots. Everybody else followed through. And the next thing you know, you've given Baylor a beatdown like you haven't done in 20, 25 years against ranked teams. That matters to me. So, how high can they go? They're on the 5-6 line right now. I think a lot of people around women's basketball are still looking at the Lady Raiders going, you haven't done this in a generation. You haven't done this in so long. Why should we buy in? And I know the negative, the downside is, well, you went up to Oklahoma State and got beat. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But they're putting skins on the wall right now. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. I don't know that they can get to the 4 line, but that would be awesome if they could. Texas Tech men's basketball, your thoughts on that tonight? Obviously, JT Toppin done for the year. It's time to quit. It's time to quit. If you're Grant McCaslin, if you're Texas Tech, Kirby Hocutt, I think you bring everybody together and say, you know what? Hey, you gave it a good run, but with JT Toppin out, what's the point? I think at best for this team, before the Toppin injury, I was looking at them being Sweet 16 and Elite Eight was kind of the ceiling. That the inconsistencies with this team, the lack of depth, the number of minutes that players are playing, that I was still looking at this going Sweet 16, maybe Elite Eight, depending on, which region were you in. Were you going to run into a Duke again, or, it didn't really matter to me. That you were going to have to string together 4 great games, shooting well, not having deficiencies there, not having your UCF game, not having problems like that. So now with Toppin out, it's just you load manage, right? Isn't that the right play now for Texas Tech basketball? Isn't that the right way to go? Did you just tell Christian Anderson, hey, look up there at Peterson at Kansas. He's a great player. He doesn't want to play. Why should you have to play? We'll let you get out there a little bit, do what you want. We'll see what we got with some of these players. Maybe Van Boy can do something, Mosley a little bit. We'll throw, Petty out there at the point and see what happens. That's the right play right now for Texas Tech, isn't it? Just to totally take this season and punt and regroup for next year and see where you're going to be NIL wise on JT Toppin and, can you hold on to Anderson? Outside of those two, who do you really care about getting back, right? You tell these guys, the younger guys, hey, go out and put some what we used to call, put some stuff on tape, put some stuff on film. Go out and play good. Maybe somebody's going to want you. But for Texas Tech right now, shut off the NIL payments, call it a year. It's over. Underrated, right? AC/DC songs in honor of the passing of Bon Scott today in 1980. You got to be a certain age maybe to get this, but it was a big day when we found out. Pre-internet, obviously pre-internet. I literally think I found out in my elementary school cafeteria that day that Bon Scott had died. Now the cool thing is I have somewhere, I can't find it. I've got a CD that was burned by a friend of mine who had a friend of mine of the tapes of Bon Scott doing the lyrics for the Back in Black album. He dies while they're producing it. And I've got that somewhere. And it's crazy to hear some of the original demo tapes of Back in Black with Bon Scott singing it instead of Brian Johnson. So that's the question tonight. Overrated, underrated AC/DC songs. I gave you a few on the website. I'll give you more as we go through. You guys get on the United Supermarket chat line. Should Texas Tech men's basketball tank it from here? Are the Lady Raiders better than we thought? Softball, not in action yet, but maybe close to getting going. JCTT gets in thanks to United Supermarkets, Market Street. Back in Black can't be rated high enough for me. Result of Cousins playing at Permian and Back in Black piped into Pep Rally. Hawaii 5-0 for the band. AC/DC for Pep Rallies, yeah. For those who don't know, the Hawaii 5-0 deal for Odessa Permian, Mojo, you had to go 5-0 back in the day to win the state championship. They would only play the theme song to Hawaii 5-0 during the postseason. Great drum solo, starting it off, getting it going, everything else. Yeah, so I could see Back in Black down there at Odessa Permian back in the day in the 80s and into the 90s being a big deal. I have Back in Black on the rated right level for AC/DC. It's a great song. Bon Scott has to come in, and it turns into a eulogy. Pardon me. Brian Johnson comes in. It turns into a eulogy. The song is a eulogy for Bon Scott, and that it also serves to kick off the next era of AC/DC and saying, yeah, we ain't done yet. You know, everything after Back in Black album is overrated. Bon Scott better than Brian Johnson. I disagree. They were different singers. They had different styles. I think AC/DC did a lot of great stuff in the 80s after Bon Scott passes. All right. For those about to rock, you've got several, 8 more albums, 7 more albums? I can't remember. They did 11 basically, with Angus Young correcting a rock and roll writer who said, "You made the same album 10 times." And he interrupts and he says, "We made the same album 11 times, and they're all great." Is Thunderstruck too overplayed to be rated right? I debated on that on Thunderstruck. I love Thunderstruck. Texas Tech in 1995 started using Thunderstruck as the intro music to Texas Tech baseball. Kelly Robinson was the baseball SID, media relations guy at the time. And the cover of the 1995 baseball media guide was Thunder in the Southwest. And that was the first year, I believe, that they started using Thunderstruck to introduce the team at Dan Law. And it was epic. It was great through the 90s into the early 2000s. They still play it. It's not the same, but they still play it. But that's where it came from, Thunder in the Southwest. So is it too overplayed to be rated right? No. I think it's rated right. It's the intro that AC/DC starts concerts with now. It's a great intro, great song, mentions Dallas, Texas, and we had a good time. So I put Thunderstruck on the rated right. Here's my AC/DC overrated, underrated, rated right. All right, are you ready? Let's go. AC/DC in honor of Bon Scott. My overrated, underrated, rated right. We'll do some baseball and we'll do some other things here in a second. All right, overrated. Shook me all night long. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me. All right. Shook me all night long. Overrated song. Know a lot of people like it. Didn't do anything for me. Money Talks. Overrated. Big hit. Later 80s. Too smooth. Too polished. Too cleaned up. And then Who Made Who would be another one that is a really popular AC/DC song. A little bit, what was that, 86, 87? Again, it's just too smooth. The rawness, the edginess was gone. Rated right before we get to the underrated. And we could give you underrated for days. All right. It's overrated, underrated, rated right. If you give me a song, Andy St. John, you got to tell me whether it's overrated, underrated, or rated right. All right. Rated right. Back in Black is rated right. It's great. It's epic. It punches you in the face. It was a seminal moment in rock and roll history when they come out with the album. For those about to rock, same thing. Rated right. Shoot to Thrill. Aim to Kill. Too Many Women, Too Many Pills. So when I bought my Camaro, my 79 Camaro, it came with, from the dude I bought it from, about 8 cassette tapes. Back in Black. Cassette tape. Boom. Into the Camaro. First song. Queued up right there. I could queue up 8-track tapes, by the way, on my Camaro, dash deck. I mean, I could cue them up. And you got to be a certain age to understand the skill that required to get it right to the right song at the right place. I would say Shoot to Thrill, rated right. It's a great one. It may be, I don't know, it may be the greatest of all time. All right, so let's go underrated. Let's go underrated AC/DC songs in honor of Bon Scott. Let There Be Rock. Live, if you can find it, and you can, deraiderland.com. I believe we linked to Let There Be Rock. Absolutely incredible. Sin City. It is as nasty and brutal and edgy as Las Vegas was in the 70s and 80s. Sin City is incredible. Malcolm Young's rhythm guitar work on that is as good as anything you get. Phil Rudd on the drums, great, but Sin City with Malcolm Young. Whole Lot of Rosie. Do we know the measurements? Do you know the measurements? Whole Lot of Rosie. Like I mentioned, Jailbreak. Maybe I didn't. Jailbreak Live. Jailbreak Live. He got a bullet in the back. Jailbreak. Awesome stuff. Give us your overrated, underrated, rated right AC/DC songs all time. And there can be some that are overrated, some that are rated right, and then some I haven't mentioned on that. Give me your Lady Raider thoughts. Are they better than we thought? I think it's entirely possible. But will the rest of the country, will the NCAA selection committee see what we're seeing? How high can they go? Men's basketball. You just you punt from here, right? You tell Christian Anderson you don't have to bother playing anymore, right? That's it. NBA, load management ain't gonna matter. Hell's Bells, over, underrated, right? You tell me. Jeff gets in off of our YouTube channel. And again, I'm going to tell all of our Twitter X people, ain't my fault. It's Twitter X. They're not loading properly live streams right now. You've got to subscribe to us on YouTube. Right now, it's Raiderland on Facebook. Jeff, the question for me is, do they sign Toppin for 2 more years, minimal money next year, and let him sit and generally and get healthy all next year, and then play the year after? I think first we need to find out what's the recovery time. Second, after that, what does he want to do? Would love to see Toppin back in a Texas Tech uniform next year. But welcome to the NBA. Welcome to professional sports, JT Toppin. Your value has been compromised by an injury. Not your fault, not my fault. And you didn't have a long-term contract that can protect you, like what would happen if you had a CBA in college athletics, and why the players, I think, should be getting to move to that a little bit. So yeah, what's it worth? What let's find out how healthy he is. Harsh reality. Chris, did the Lady Raiders have a shot to host? I think they can get there. The latest projection I saw going into this week, you were kind of on that 6 line, 6-5. Baylor was on the 4. So now you've swept Baylor this year. You got wins against TCU. You've done things against top teams. Can you get there? We'll see. You know? Big balls rated right. Big balls in Cowtown. We'll dance around. Big balls in Cowtown. Sleeping on the ground. Let's see. Andy says, Hell's Bells just right still. Hell's Bell, what's better, Hell's Bells or Highway to Hell? You got 2 songs talking about hell. Hell's Bells, Highway to Hell. I think Highway to Hell is the better song. Top an injury more than 12 months. Could be, might be. We'll see. Sadly, from a tech standpoint and everything else, it occurs at like a horrible time, late in the regular season. If it's the long recovery time, yeah. If it's the short recovery time, yeah. It's just an unbelievable crappy scenario for JT Toppin, who was having a special year. He had a special night against Kansas. That the last game that he played to its entirety, he was special. He gave you a moment. And that's why we talk about his injury being right up there with some of the biggest, most impactful, painful, hard to watch, hard to swallow, hard to reconcile injuries in Texas Tech sports history. Because he was transitioning. I got to watch how I use that term. He was going from great player to special player, special moments, doing special things in a sport, college basketball, where one player can be special and carry you for weeks at a time. That could elevate a team that might have the ceiling of a Sweet 16 or Elite Eight, that he might have been able to sit there in an Elite Eight setting and say, hey, watch this. We're going. We're going to the Final Four. I hate to see it. I've been around college athletics covering it for 30, 35 years. I have seen horrible injuries for teams I've covered and the impact that it had on those teams and not just the individual who got hurt, but everybody around them who was sweating, who was working hard, who was doing everything invested in. And all of a sudden you just get this weird moment and it's all gone. And the gut punch to a team, to individuals on a team like that, it's hard to explain because nobody wants to really talk about it. Nobody in the locker room, nobody on the bus, nobody at the hotel wants to say, God, we just lost our chance to do this, because you still want to do well. You want to play hard, but it's there. And this one ranks right up there. Jeff, maybe they should mail it in, but I'm pretty sure Grant won't let that happen. All right, here's the deal. I was just kidding about Texas Tech tanking it from here. All right. I'm just kidding. That'd be stupid. But I've seen people posting on social media and Texas Tech fans saying it's all over, there's no hope, there's no chance, and it can't happen. So hence the slug line, the headline, yeah, Texas Tech should just tank from here. No. This can still be a hell of a year. Thank you for rising to the bait, by the way, Jeff. I appreciate it. This can still be a hell of a year for Texas Tech. This could be a year that you could remember for a long time for a team that still has the ability to achieve and do well in March and maybe write a chapter in Texas Tech sports history. And I'm not saying they're going to go to the Final Four. No, that's not it. I mean, my ceiling, my everything is altered now to, can you get 2 wins on the first weekend? If you do that, great. You get to the Sweet 16, you never know what might happen. But if this team is gutting it out and playing on the second weekend, to me, that's a special thing. And that shows program continuity, culture in a program, all those things that people make fun of. But I think Grant McCasland believes in that. I think this team that he brings together every year, I've seen it. Last year they could have easily bowed out in the 16. They could have easily bowed out a couple of times. I think McCasland puts that in. So this is a great time to create a culture moment and say, we don't know how exactly, but by God, we're going to get in the NCAA tournament. And I think the committee's going to punish them for Toppin being out. And I hope they can hang on to at least a 5 seed from here. All right? At least a 5 seed. 6, you're dealing with some random stuff. But should they absolutely quit, punt, load manage, tell Christian Anderson no? No. And here's another reason why. The pressure's completely off. No one expects you to do a damn thing from here. The national media is writing you off if you're Texas Tech at this moment and saying, well, it was a great year, but I can't do it. So the pressure's off. Everybody around the Big 12 is talking about, media people and everything else. What a horrible blow to the Big 12. That's a potential national champion or Final Four team and everything else. And they can't do anything. So if you're Grant McCasland, you can walk in over the next couple of days and say, all right, we're playing on house money now. Nobody thinks we can do a damn thing. Tomorrow, going into the K-State game, and what a grease fire that's going to be playing them at this moment. And I'm kind of glad Tech's playing Kansas State and not a team that has anything going on, but it could be for an ugly game for a lot of different reasons. That if you're Grant McCasland, you can just sit there and say, all right, here we go. Nobody cares about you anymore. They all think you're done. It's not us against the world, by the way. It's us being the best basketball team we can be and show them that we're not just one person. Even though that one person is really good, great, special. So how do they do it? We'll talk more about that tomorrow in the daily broadcast. I think the biggest thing is going to be some adjustments of roles, obviously. You're not going to have guys all of a sudden become superstars. But if you're Grant McCasland, you've got to move some people around, and you got to say, all right, this is now how we do what we do. Last week we did this. This week we do this. Be quick learners because it's going to be different. Is the pace of play going to be different? I think it will be. What does that mean, by the way? Faster, slower? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Christian Anderson has the most pressure on him of any player, and Grant McCasland has to figure out a way to take that pressure off him. 100%. Got to take the pressure off him. How do you do it? You can't. Because he knows. He knows everything around it. So then what do? Well, you tell the other guys, you like your buddy over here? You like your friend? You like your pal? You got to elevate your game. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Lady Raiders, great win over Baylor, doing things that haven't happened in 20 years, 25 years. I love watching it. I love watching Krista Gerlich. Enjoy watching it for her players. She has wanted, since she became the head coach at Texas Tech, to try to help the players understand what it's like to be part of a Lady Raider team that is special, that the crowds fall in love with, that the people fall in love with. She can only transfer so much of herself and her experience. They've got to do it. They're doing it themselves right now. Softball, are we underway? Do we have a freaking anything going on in softball? They were delayed. Now I got the following error has occurred. All right, I got nothing for you. Hold on. Maybe, just maybe. We can go here before we get out of here. Texas Tech softball. And give me something here. Are we underway? What are we doing? 5 minutes ago. Admin is in the rain and it's cold and there's no internet, so doing the best I can. We strung some hits together and scored 2-1 Fresno State, top of the second. That's the official Lady Raider Twitter account. Bless their hearts. Hang in there. All right, let's clean up some questions, comments, and everything else. By the way, still some AC/DC stuff if you want to talk about it. I can talk about AC/DC and rock and roll all that long. All right. JCTT, maybe a new star can emerge in the next 6 games. Who should we watch for? I don't think you're going to have a new star. I think you're going to have Anderson try to do his thing. You got to have Mosley elevate. You got to have Mboye be able to stay on the floor, not get a bunch of fouls. I would love to see Jalen Petty take over the point and just tell Anderson, you go over here, you're our scorer, we're going to do this. All right. Chris, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No. He's on a roll. Jeff, no one is giving them a chance. That could be really motivational for this team. Yeah, the internal motivation, the external motivation, the idea from a fan standpoint of what you guys think motivates a team from the outside looking in, totally different from the internal motivations. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's different how they see it. Andy, Tech has a great team. Can't replace Toppin. But next man up, we are good. Are we? Are we really good? Is everybody good? Are y'all good? I'm going to ask you to do a few things. Share this with your friends. Remind your friends on Twitter X, you're not getting the show live. We're doing all we can for you, but it's a StreamYard versus Twitter deal, and I can't fix it. I can't. There's nothing I can do for the Twitter people right now to get this thing live. So that's why we say have, in the betting world, we talk about having outs. You got to have a lot of different places to make your bets. Some books do this, some books do that. FanDuel, DraftKings, all these things. You need different outs. That's why we tell everybody sign up for all of our platforms. They're all free. It don't cost nothing. So jump on Ryan Eyes Raiderland channel, YouTube. We want to go over 700 tonight. What's wrong with you people? We're stuck on 699. Come on. Somebody beat 700. And then on Facebook, Ryan Eyes Raiderland. We'll have our daily dose of West Texas on Facebook and Twitter coming up here in just a little bit. And then tomorrow, the most Texan thing you have done this week. That'll be the question every week for years and years now. We find out the most Texan thing you've done. Y'all are great. We appreciate it. It's always fun. We can see if I missed anything. Oh, underrated. AC/DC. Giving the dog a bone. Right? Am I right? Giving the dog a bone. Totally underrated. All right, here's to you, Bond. Let there be rock. See you tomorrow.